The age of social media, all it takes nowadays to spark up an online fight is to merely have an opinion. One opinion will cause many to spiral into a pit hole of anger where no one dialogues, only insults the person who has the unpopular or even the popular opinion regarding the latest trends in comic books, movies, or pulp culture. It makes sense given the circumstance. After all, acting tough behind the protective wall of the black mirror we all own and use on a daily basis makes it easy for anyone to jump right into a tirade of insults and threats. Again, just for having an opinion that they may disagree with. I decided to go against that notion. I've decided to start a video series where we discuss the hot topic issues within the comic book industry and pulp culture and provide you with another perspective. One of logic, reason, with just plain old dialogue between two people who have different opinions. My co-host and I will discuss the pulp culture topics at hand in a fun, engaging, and respectable manner. So, without further ado, let's talk about it. Hello, welcome back to Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Julius Freeman, and with me, and welcome back, the one and only
Kyle.
Kyle was missing in action the last time we were here, and I had a guest host, Nick Patch, and I thought we had a pretty good show. But Kyle, how was your time off, man? What you been up to?
Oh, I've been busy, family and fun, and getting away from this loser here on.
hey. Remember, I brought you in. I could destroy you.
Oh yeah, sure. This channel would be nothing without me. Anyway, yeah, it's been fun. Went to LA Comic-Con, so that was also one of the days that I missed, and we're gonna talk about just a little bit of some of the stuff I picked up. But yeah, it's been really cool. LA Comic-Con was a lot of fun. In fact, you actually, Julius, came as well. You got to go to the convention and got to see me work the comic book booth and see all the craziness that was there, because there was a ton of people.
Very crazy.
I mean, like you were walking. Like for me, I barely had time to actually walk around because it was just so busy in the booth. You got to walk around a little bit. Well, what did you see, when you were walking around?
A lot. It was packed. I was really surprised how packed it was. It reminded me a little bit of San Diego Comic-Con, if I'm being honest. The only difference is that Comic-Con is spacious. It's a lot more spacious, so it doesn't feel as packed, but still, it's jam-packed when you go to San Diego. But since LA Comic-Con, the convention center was blocked off, it was a bit more compressed. Mm-hmm. And so it was a little tough to walk through the floor, if I'm being honest. And but however, it was cool to see the amount of people there. It was nice, and the thing that gave me a lot of hope for the future of comics was that I did notice in the booth that you were working at. I hung out there for a while to look at some of the books that he had there, and of our good friend Cal. Mm-hmm. And it was very refreshing to see a bunch of young people. They're buying older books from the 90s and the late 80s, maybe even late 90s and early 2000s. And it was great for me because I'm hoping that the young generation, your generation and younger, gets to see just how much better and how much of a higher quality stories that the comic book industry offered back in those times than today. Yeah. Their palette is going to be so refined when they see, wow, I can't believe that back then when comic books were $1.25, $1.50, sometimes $2, depending on who was publishing it, the stories were so much better, higher quality, and it was great. It was a little bit of hope for me because you were when I got there. I think you were helping a young guy, who must have looked like he must have been 19 or 20,
Yeah,
and he was
something like
picking up.
that.
Yeah, he was picking up Ron Mars's, Green Lantern run, which was great. I was like, he's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
finally get to see just how much work and effort went into those books back in the day. So that was that was very refreshing, very
And
refreshing.
I was the perfect person to talk to because he's like looking through and he's all like, I've heard of this character called Kyle Rayner. You know anything
Yeah,
about it? And I'm
yeah,
like, boy, how much time you have? I'm sitting there schooling him the entire thing. All right, this is what you should read. This is why it's important.
yeah,
Here's the issue that you should pick up. Definitely get this one. It's half off, so I'll get it anyway. And it's just like, and so yeah, he was so grateful, and yeah, he bought up pretty much all that we had of it. So it was great. There was a
awesome.
ton of people buying comic books. Like we sold a lot of books, which was very refreshing to see.
Yeah,
You and
that's
I
great.
picked up some books as well, but the most notable thing that I picked up wasn't a comic book. It was a poster, a really cool poster. This was
Mm.
a poster from
Wait.
19.
Hold on, Kyle. Before
Okay.
you go forward, shout out to Bancroft. Some person here just let me know that Bancroft raid, meaning what that means is that when Bancroft was going to go offline, he let everyone know that our show was on. So, Michael Bancroft, you're the real one. Thank you for that. All right, go on.
Oh yeah, welcome back, Ben. Thanks for having all. Hello everybody
Yeah,
again.
hello everyone. Whoever's here on the show, thank you for being here. Hopefully, you stick around because we have a very heavy discussion to talk about, which is AI in comics. You want to stick around for this one, but first, before we do that, Kyle, what'd you pick up?
All right, it's a poster from 1997. It
Okay.
is and I guess not homage. What is it, like honoring Gil Kane?
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is
Cool.
a Gil Kane Green Lantern poster that
Nice,
is
dude. Wow.
signed by Gil
Signed.
Kane himself.
Nice, dude. What a pick. What a get. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's really
So
cool.
it's got all the Green Lanterns, from Alan Scott to Silver Age to Bronze Age. Then you've got John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, and then Parallax.
Nice, dude. And he drew all that, right? He drew all those
No,
renditions of
it's
those
a print.
characters. No,
Well,
I know
no,
it's a print, but did he draw those
well, he
characters?
didn't do. I don't think he did any Alan Scott. If it was later. Gil
No, what I
Kane
mean
did
is,
it.
are those sketches his? I know that it's a print, but are those sketches his art? Is my question.
That's a good question. I'm gonna say yes, just because it's cool.
Okay. I imagine it
I
would
don't
be.
know, but probably if it's in a poster with Gil Kane stuff,
Yeah,
it would
I would
probably
imagine it
have
would
it with
be.
him, you know, with it. So anyway,
Nice.
that was
Nice.
a really cool pickup that I got. That I wanted to share and brag about because I love Green Lantern,
There
and
you go.
it's a
There you go.
signed. And it was funny because the poster, like I said, was from '97, and I think Gil Kane like passed away around like 2000, 2001. So it was like
Oh, so he was up there
really
then.
close,
Yeah.
yeah, when he was ready to pass on. But yeah, it was really cool. The convention, again, lots of people, lots of fun, but yeah, it was crazy.
The future does look bright for comics. I'm convinced of that. Ever since when I got to that con and how packed it was a pain in the ass to get there. And when we got there, I was really surprised. Like, wow, this is actually amazing that it's so packed. And I was happy to see that. And I'm also happy to see so many young people looking through the back bins. That
Yeah.
was my biggest takeaway of the whole experience was the fact that I got when I went to the other vendors there that sold comics, I couldn't help but notice a bunch of young people there. Like I'm talking like 19, 20-year-olds, guys. That's a bright spot in the future of comics. And I was so happy to see that. So I'm really excited for the future of comics. Hopefully it creates another new a renaissance of sorts.
Yeah.
Hopefully the industry will keep up with that.
Well, it's an interesting time that we're living in right now where, there's lots of new technologies that are
Mm-hmm.
coming out that
Yes, new technologies.
That's going to be making things a lot easier in some respects.
In some respects, yeah. Jason, 100%. Guys, if you're new to this channel, if you're new to the show, hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment. Hey, if you're in the chat, join the chat. You know, it helps with the growth of the channel. We want this channel to grow, and we want to talk about actual comic books, what's going on in the industry. No drama farming free.
No.
Unless someone provokes me, then maybe
unless it's him. You know? You gotta watch out.
Yeah, but other than that, honestly, like, we're here to talk about comics, pop culture, and have a great time and fun time with you all. So thank you for those who are here. Hopefully, we have more people come to our show down the line. But until then, thanks for being here. Yeah. And like you mentioned, new technologies are rising, which prompted this thought exercise that I had. And I wanted to present you a question, Kyle. Now, Kyle's always drama farming. He's going the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe some kayfabe from Ray. Oh, maybe some kayfabe from Ray. Yeah, maybe Ray and I can have a little feud online and do the Eazy-E Dr. Dre feud, or the Paul McCartney and John Lennon feud, or whatever other feuds are out there. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in professional wrestling. But
Empire and Rebel Alliance.
So Jim Lee proclaimed at the LA Comic-Con, right?
Not LA. It was New York.
New York Comic-Con. So New York Comic-Con, Jim Lee went on the panel and pretty much turned that, like, he pretty much destroyed. We're not going to use AI. We're not going to ever hire anyone who uses AI. We're never going to use AI to produce comic books. Got a big applause. Everyone was cheering it on. And that's great, you know, because I have my thoughts about AI myself, but we could get into that as we discuss this topic. But it got me thinking. It got me thinking about something that I think a lot of people who are going against AI perhaps have not asked or wondered about for whatever reason. I don't know, but I like to always think about the big picture. I always like to, you know, play devil's advocate or look at things in a different perspective. And I asked this question myself, but I want to ask you this question now.
Okay.
Here's a scenario for you, okay? And for those listening, please let me know your thoughts. Don't be shy. This is a question that is also pertaining to you if you're a reader. But since you are a reader, Kyle, you come from a perspective of a consumer/reader. You have no intention of writing your own comic book. You have no intention of producing your own comic book. You just like to consume and read.
I consume. That's all I do. I drama farm and consume. That's all I do.
which is great, right? So I wanted to ask you this question. As a consumer, you enter your comic shop. Okay. You walk in, you're looking at the wall, you're seeing all the new arrivals, right? There's Marvel books, there's DC books, there's Image, Dark Horse, and you see this one small press book. You're like, oh, okay. And you see the cover, and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. You pick it up, you're like, oh, wow, the cover's kind of nice. You open up the book, and the interior artwork is pretty good too. Oh, look at this. This is pretty cool. All right. And then you just check it out, because as most comic book readers, we don't really read. We just kind of skim through it, and then if something looks good, we just buy it and read it later.
Yeah.
You buy the book, you go home, you read it. Hey, the premise is pretty cool. The concept is there. The story is on point, and it got me excited for the next issue. But then at the back of this book, you find out there's a little blurb at the end of this book that says, this book was partly produced by AI. Now, my question to you as a consumer and reader, do you continue to buy the book, or do you just completely like, nope, not buying this anymore because it's done by AI? What's your thought on that? If that does, because just before you answer, as we all know, AI is getting faster, stronger every month. It seems like something new comes out
almost daily,
almost
hourly.
Almost daily and hourly, exactly. And there's all this stuff coming out, and you're like, whoa, dude, I can't believe it. So at one point, I believe that it's going to get to the point where people are going to be able to generate their own comic books. Now, Jason earlier posted a comment here where he says, I don't think AI will take over comics. They'll be there, but humans love making them too much, which is absolutely 100%. However, consumers and readers.
Right.
They don't, I mean, do they care? We haven't asked that question. And I am reminded of, I know it's not the same thing, but it's kind of similar, which is downloading music for free. Now, for those from my generation, you guys know what I'm talking about. Napster. When I say the word Napster, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's the website that lets you borrow, you uploaded music and people downloaded to borrow the song. And it created this whole tsunami of bands of rock bands, pop bands were able to download music for free into their computers, burn it into CDs, and they could play it in their car without going to the record shop. And of course, the industry balked. They try to stop it, but once you open Pandora's box, you can't put what comes out back in. It's out. So I feel like that's going to happen with AI in the near future. Now, going back to my question, if that happened, if you bought the book and you read it and you actually enjoyed it because you didn't know it was AI,
right,
until the end, do you keep buying it? What's your answer? Go.
Wow, it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I want to say. I'm going to say off the bat, generally, because it's again, my mind goes into like a whole fractions of things to think about.
Right.
I will say I wouldn't be 100% opposed.
Interesting. Okay.
So my rationale is that there are things that you can compare AI to in terms of like when traditional artists eventually moved over into digital art. I feel like there was a lot of controversy among that, where
there was
digital artists, were seen as lesser than traditional artists because, that's like the cheap way to do it, or like that's an easy way to do it. Now the pendulum's kind of swung, so where it's like, well, now it's accepted as a digital artist, you're an artist.
Yeah.
In terms of the AI being used, for now, right now, I see it more as just like a tool. It's going to be like another digital tool for somebody to use. Now, again, you mentioned that in this hypothetical scenario that the book is good. It's got a good premise and good story and stuff. That's what's the thing. It's like, I don't necessarily care whether if it was made by a AI or not, because it was still a good story. And you said it was partially made by AI.
Yeah.
So there was at least some human, involvement in it. My mind also goes, again, it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to say that, like, with AI and stuff, like, we see a lot of examples of AI and how it can be used in comic books and things. I would ask the follow-up question of, like, is, like, both the writing and the art generated by AI, or is it mainly just the writing that was generated by AI in this hypothetical scenario?
I would say both. Yeah. Chat GPT, whatever whatever tool is there that can get some amateur writer or a writer saying, okay, I want to create this this scenario, and then have it generated, and then you build off that. And the same thing with the art. You generate the art and you build off that. You use Photoshop to fix it if you hire a good graphic designer or an artist, a digital artist at that. And I know, and I'm gonna let you continue answering the question, but to add a little bit there is that like my generation, they're opposed to it. I'm opposed to it too, as a creator myself. I will never use AI to generate a story or a script or even art. I use it as a tool, like you said. For instance, I use it as a tool to generate the thumbnail for the video,
right?
Because I can't afford to pay an artist to draw to produce a thumbnail for me. I don't have the time. I don't have the funds for it. So AI is a useful tool for me to generate just a basic image to, to promote the channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so my generation is opposed to it, but your generation and the generation that's going to come after you, they might come along and be like, I don't care.
Right,
You
because
know?
that's the thing, like, when we were talking about this discussion and we were getting ready, like, I was not necessarily, like, always so on board with it, with, like, ChatGPT and stuff like that because I didn't really understand what it could do.
Mm,
So there's been, like, some apps, and just literally just a couple hours ago, I started to play around with ChatGPT and the capabilities of it,
yeah.
and dude, you can attest to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I My tune changed dramatically because I was able to just in seconds upload a picture of the, like, how I always share my Green Lanterns that are combined with like Venom or,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mandalorian stuff,
Your
my
commission
commission
pieces.
pieces.
Yeah.
And I uploaded that and I said, generate a backstory on this character. And then it gave me the whole
Yeah.
biography and all
Mm-hmm.
these like storylines and stuff that it could be. And I'm reading through all of it. Now, granted, it's very generic. And it could, like reading through it all, it's something that me and you could probably hash out and get a similar vibe to
Yeah.
within a day or two. But the fact that it did it in like 5 seconds, I think is key because there's so many things that I could just like my mind now went from like I guess my perspective went from like not being as creative to like what's now that I can implement and get these ideas from and then do my own thing. So like I'm using it more as a generator of just like prompts and stuff that I can then build off of, which is in
Mm,
turn making me want to go and try more things and do more things and even reach out to creators to like because my philosophy like okay, I uploaded the image of the guy and did the biography and the stories and stuff. Now I want to go and find an artist and a writer and say okay, here's my prompt of kind of what I want this artist to do it and then I want this writer to kind of help me out with the script and then boom, it'd be done. I don't have to sit there for hours and weeks and stuff like that to just get started and then get going. Like it already did a bunch of the heavy lifting kind of for me type of thing. So
mm.
from
Some person says,
the
get
time
out the torches, get them.
I know.
Well, remember, guys, I asked this question because it's the one question that we haven't been asking ourselves because we're so busy denouncing it and so
Yeah.
busy going against it that we're not asking what does the reader and consumer think about it? Because going back to my Napster example, yeah, the musical artists were just violently opposed to it, right? They did everything they could to block it. They went to the government. They told the government we need to stop this. It violates copyright law and so on and so forth, which AI
Right.
does too. Let's face it. Let's face the reality. AI does violate copyright law because it's taking copyrighted material and
Oh
meshing
yeah.
it up for you and using it, right? So until that court date happens, which I'm sure is already going, it's already been. I'm sure someone's working on the case right now, and we're probably going to hear about it maybe down the line. I don't know when, but just like in the Napster time, the musical artists during that time who were opposed to it, I don't know if they failed to realize it or they didn't care, but their fans, the consumers, the people who listen to their music, fans of their music, who went to their live concerts, were
Hmm.
downloading their stuff for free. They had no problem downloading their music for
Right.
free. No issue, no moral qualms, no like, I feel bad because the thinking was, well, you already made your millions, so what? So what
Right.
if I download a few songs from your album that I like? You have your private jet, you have your mansion, you have your luxurious life. So for the common man, right, the fan was like, well, so what? And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking it's kind of the same mentality with the reader. When I mean reader, I'm talking about pure consumers, people who will never ever aspire to making comics because it's not something they want to do. They have other things they have aspired to. They just like reading comics. And so my thinking was, as well as my question was like, well, what do they think about it? Because we're going to oppose it, right? We're going to reject it, but I don't think the consumers are going to reject it. I mean, you just said yourself that if you saw a book like that, you'd be like, well, if it was good, if it was executed great, I'm going to keep reading it.
That's the thing. And, Ben also in the chat says, as a consumer, he wouldn't care so long as if it was good, or like if it was just okay, he's on the fence.
Right.
Now, it's interesting reading that because, like, honestly, as somebody who reads, new comic books a lot, and pick up, stuff, the stories that I'm reading are not that good to begin with. So if you're telling me that an AI can go and generate stories better than what currently writers are doing, then that should show the current writers that they need to step up their game in order, because they're being beaten out by a generic AI, script. So I think that from that perspective, yeah, I would probably buy some AI generated scripts and comic books and stuff like that if it was good. Now, I would do it in the hopes that actual writers and artists and stuff. Now, I also want to mention too that it would also give the kick in the pants of artists to step up their game and create their art more dynamic and more unique, that it can't be specialized, because obviously somebody like Alex Ross or something like that is not going to be necessarily too affected by AI. Like, it will generate oil painting type stuff, but his style is going to be consistent. You can look at,
like
a bunch of
Jim
other
Lee,
examples. Jim Lee, and Rob Liefeld, Tom McFarlane, all of the really greats, Frank Miller, they have a very unique style that as soon as you see it, you're like, oh, that's that person.
Right.
So AI is obviously not going to do that. It can't create things. It will just jumble stuff around to make it something.
Exactly. And as some person here points out, it seems that using AI to do art might inspire one to learn it themselves, which is the hope, right?
Right.
The novelty of something wears down after a while, which is absolutely right. Absolutely right. It will, the novelty of that will wear out, because at some point you're going to keep generating all these images, but you're like, it's not exactly how I imagine it here, Exactly. So
and then you're going to be like really wanting, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to figure out how I want to actually take what my image in my brain onto the page. AI and ChatGPT and all these things, however, make it a little bit easier though. They do add that one one little step that makes it a little bit easier for, people. There are a lot of people who are not as creatively talented as others. They're just
they're not.
Their brains are not worked that way. So I can
Exactly.
see it from the perspective of, like, from a creator standpoint, like me, I'm not, it's not saying that I haven't necessarily tried or anything on that, but it's also the time aspect of, like, where I can just say what I want and it generate like 80-90% of exactly what I wanted. That's good enough for me. And it's one of those things where, yeah, I could contact an artist or a writer, but then I'd be back and forth telling them what I want, redoing all this stuff. And you've had that experience with
lots of experience, and that's
artists.
That's one thing that I wanted to touch. I wanted to also mention before I do that. I like what Howl Comics here said. He said, I'm not opposed to AI to do some grunt work like flatting or finding tangents, etc., which is a good tool, by the way, because you don't want tangents in comic books. It gets really crazy when you see a lot of tangents in artwork, but not the actual art itself or the writing, which is I agree with that for sure. But going back to your point, AI is, again, like a useful tool for someone like me, because I think what's happening, I think most of the people who are really vehemently against it, it's are people who are okay, but they don't want to get better. They're just kind of comfortable.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time I've dealt with a lot of indie artists who think they're better than what they are,
Right.
and they don't want to work with me. So it's like, well, dude, I mean, and then on top of that, if you look in the corporate world, maybe not so much Marvel and DC right now, but again, guys, remember, it's a matter of who comes in after the old guard is gone. So
Yeah.
Jim Lee right now is saying we're never going to use AI, but for all we know, 5-10 years from now, when he's gone, what's not to say that the next guy says, you know what, we're going to use AI. We don't care,
Right.
because they don't want to deal with the troublesome, quote unquote, the troublesome artist who's overcharging for their pages, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that they do, because the artist should deserve what they're worth, 100%. But I'm just playing the devil's advocate about the suit, the corporate suit in that building, saying, well, do I want to deal with the prima donna artist who's overcharging us, or do I want to deal with the machine that could give us what we want at cheaper price?
And that's the thing. It's like, it's gonna be like, again, I'm gonna look at it from like right now from a business aspect. If I'm the DC or Marvel and stuff like that, and I have two options, I can either have the writer and artist that produces me a book that just moderately sells, nobody's really talking about it, or I can have it a book done mainly by AI, some people kind of tweaking it and stuff like that, one person tweaking it, and it generated in 5 minutes, and then we print it, and we can basically have that series, instead of being monthly, we can have it be weekly. And you could have it, in people's hands just like that, and then people will just like, well, it's about the same as the other guy, so might as well just pick it, and you can make it cheaper because it was, only done by, the AI.
Yeah, I mean, and also we have to consider market forces, guys. Market forces are key. They decide what they want. And if the market forces go this way, guess where the companies are going to go? They're going to go at the direction of the market forces. Now, Jason here, Unhinged, does say, I like what he says here. The imperfections is an artist's style, 100%, which is why until the day I die, I'm always going to use a human artist, because that's what makes comic books unique for me, and also for a lot of people. And that is, the imperfections of an artist are kind of charming in a lot of ways. In some ways, not a lot. Obviously, you want progression to being better with every new project they get on. But those imperfections you see in it's, like I said, very charming to see, because it's like, it's human. That's because we're imperfect. We're not perfect beings. We make mistakes and all that. So it's, like I said, it's charming in that aspect. So will be the fingerprint for the artist. AI will be overly accurate and perfect. 100%. Wolf and Bear says it's like dating a trans. If she's hot, doesn't matter if she's really.
Moving on.
Come on, dude. I mean, that's a good analogy.
That's an interesting take to say.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. What was it? Wolf and Bear. Okay. All right.
All right. Next comment.
Benjamin Soto says the next DC editor could be using AI right now. To Kyle's point, the current writers are ho-hum generic stories. Yeah, most of them are, for sure. Who's to say they aren't using AI now? 100%. Dude, wouldn't that be crazy if we find out that the writers today are using it, and they're the ones who are the loudest about not using AI?
Most likely. I mean, that's kind of how it works. But that's how I thought. Like, when I was playing around with ChatGPT just like a few hours ago, and I was generating some stuff, and it was generating the stories for me. If I was a writer, like if I was a semi-competently good writer, and I just see that, and it generates, like I said, like 80-90% of what the story wants. All I have to do is just type in a few words, clean up a few things, and then send it off. I would 100% do it. And you're seeing it now with students in school and stuff like
Yeah,
that
right, right.
using ChatGPT to just do all their studies and all their papers and all that stuff.
Yeah, and college
So
professors are starting to catch on too, and banning laptops and phones now from their classrooms because of that.
right.
It's become a problem because the thing about knowledge is you want to retain the knowledge, not just memorize. But unfortunately, a lot of students do that. They just memorize and they don't retain anything. But that's going
Mhm.
off subject. But let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Oh, some person here says it won't have the originality of the artist though. 100%. Some person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just for the record, guys, we're not. This is not a pro AI episode.
No.
I'm
This
just
is
giving the scenario of what the consumer slash reader might do
drawn
if
to.
they see that the AI is so good that they decide to want to start paying for it and want that instead of the real thing. That's all what the discussion is about. So um I'll try to replicate the style and story arc. It will try to replicate the style and story arcs, but it won't be exactly what the artist would have thought of, kind of like fan fiction. 100%.
Exactly,
100%.
and that's the thing, like, when I was playing around with it and I was telling it, it was very generic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, with AI art and AI stories, ChatGPT stories, you're not going to
Got it.
get,
Got it.
a Frank Miller run on Daredevil. You're not gonna get an
Right.
Alan Moore Killing
Exactly.
Joke. You are not going to get these high vol you know, high, you know,
High caliber stories.
caliber, that's the word I was looking for. High caliber stories out of this program. I'm looking at it from from no question posed from the perspective of, well, already right now, comic books are kind of mediocre with a lot of the stories that they're saying. That's why the reason why we keep on talking about, these older books from like the 90s and earlier where they had really good stories and really compelling stuff. And and we've gone through, 100, a bunch of stories on our Is It Worth the Pickup and
Right.
stuff
Right.
like that. And just you and me talking, I've read a bunch of the new stuff that's coming out, and it is not anywhere close to what was happening back in the 90s. So if you're telling me that I could then get a cheaper, more, somewhat more relevant and more capable story from AI in seconds,
Thank you for the joke, Wolf and Bear.
I would be going for that.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. Crenshaw says it may be a positive in that big corporations pump out mainstream, popular, and cheap AI comics. It could pique the interest of some to search for other authentic comics. Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
People who get introduced to AI comics if they do produce them, end up producing them, and maybe they read it and they go like, it's kind of soulless. I want something with a bit more, human in it,
Yeah.
passion and emotion. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It could lead to that, Crenshaw. I agree with that.
I want to correct you. I don't think you mentioned
All comics. AI writing is good for live action Disney show.
honestly, they already are. I'm convinced that they are.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
think
the
so. I
thing
mean,
is like,
considering that they used AI for the intro of was it the Secret Wars show? That
yeah, Secret Invasion.
Invasion. Yeah, they used the AI for the intro of the show. They unabashedly, they didn't
Yeah.
care. So yeah, that's a good point.
Well,
Some
and
person
that's the
says
thing
AI.
is like,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Finish
You
your
can
thought.
say
No,
your
go
thought.
ahead. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
I was just, well, it's going to bring up a whole nother topic. So let's do this first.
AI art will be fast food, no more like canned food. Oh, that's good. I like that. Canned food.
Yeah.
Convenient, but will get dull fast, even after the thousandth Sonic slash fiction. Yeah, you know what? You're
Yeah.
right. You're right, some person. I think that's a great analogy, some person. Canned food is the perfect description of what AI art is going to be for consumers. I
Right.
think right now it's hot right now. It's trendy because it's so easy just to, you know, generate this for me and it's fun, right? But you're right. After a while, it's like I kind of want like a whole story here, like a whole acting and all, and
It's
a finalized thing.
it's going to be the difference between a Van Gogh and hotel art.
Ah,
It's
there
going
you
to
go.
be something to fill the void or have an actual story in it, you know? And I think that's what's going to be the duality of it. It's going to fill a void. It's not going to completely redo comic books. But I think when I was going to correct you, you said if.
I'm not gonna read that one aloud, but
all right, good.
Yeah,
get
yeah. No,
demonetized.
you're right, some person. You're right.
Begin with.
Yeah.
You mentioned if they make a AI generated comic book, I'm 100% convinced it's going to happen. There is going to be AI generated comic books. I know this is a hypothetical question that we've been talking about, but
yeah,
I'm 100% convinced that there will be in some point in time 100% generated AI comic book, and then the same with movies and TV shows, because what's going to happen is there's going to be one movie that's going to be like a theatrically released movie that's going to be backed by like Warner Brothers or Disney or something like that. That's like a big corporation that's 100% AI. And I'm going to say that it's going to be in similar fashion to what happened with the Avatar movies, because that was on the cusp of 3D and IMAX and all that stuff, where everybody's going to go watch it because it's a brand new technology. Everybody wants to see what it looks like. So then everybody goes watches it.
Yeah.
The studio heads are saying, look, everybody liked it, and we only did it for like $10 million, and it's like $100 million budget, type movie, but we only did it for $10 million, if that. We can do this all the time now because everybody liked it, and then that's just going to be the gateway to get everybody. And I guess
Benjamin says AI comics already exist. There was a crowdfunder last year that was all AI. That's wild. If you could find that link for us, can you find that link for us so we can share? I'm curious to see what it looks like. I really want to see what it looks like, because that's interesting that they already did that. But adding to what you said about the the studios doing the AI art for a whole movie for 10 million. Yeah, that's pretty much what it boils down to. That's what the last strike was about. Right. Remember the strike, the actor strike that happened a few years back? That was what that was about. It was about the actors. See, the thing that the mainstream media failed to tell the public, but if you dug a little deeper, you found out the real reason why the actors went on strike is because the actors wanted to get paid for the usage of AI imagery of their likeness. Right. It wasn't to try to stop AI, guys. No way. That was the PR spin they used to make themselves look good and make themselves look like they took the side of the artist. That was not the reality of it. The reality was they wanted to get ahead and get paid forever for them to use their likeness in the future when they use AI.
Yeah.
That's what that was about. That's what that strike was all about.
Not if, when.
When, yeah. And they got the deal, which is, I don't know if you saw this, but Dan Aykroyd, I think it was Dan Aykroyd. He went on record saying that he's fine with studios using his likeness for the future as long as his family get the royalties.
Yeah. I mean, there's been plenty of actors and voice actors like that. I know they did for James Earl Jones with his voice for Vader, and
exactly.
I think Peter Cummings, who does the voice of Optimus Prime, he did it. But that opens up a whole another can of worms too, of like, well, if Optimus, him being Optimus Prime is such an iconic voice for that character, and they can use it for AI anytime that they want. Any show that they have or movie, they're just going to use his AI version of it.
Yep.
It's going to stop every other person that would have had that role as a replica of his voice that could have carried it on or had a different interpretation of what his voice would be. And he just killed all that off because you're just going to keep on using what was already working and everybody loves.
Yeah, 100%. So that's what that actor strike was all about. It was just that. It was to get ahead of it. And so Hollywood's fine using AI. They have no shame using it, and they're going to use it. And they already used it. Disney used, like I said, they used it for the Invasion show. They got backlash for it, but I think going forward they're going to say they're going to still use it, but they're not going to say it's AI anymore.
Yeah,
because it's a PR. It's a PR disaster if you do admit to using AI. So when it comes to comic books, I mean, I gotta look into that, see if I could find it, maybe down the line, because I'd be curious to see what it looks like and how they sold it. I want to see how they sold it. You know, like if it did it, if it met the goal, if it actually reached the goal.
Yeah, that'd
know,
be interesting.
Some person says it'll backfire on them. AI will replace CEOs. Can you imagine these? Oh, dude, that would be such a poetic justice there if that happened.
I know. Yeah, it'd be like, your position is no longer required.
Walt Disney shows up and he's like, "Hello, everyone. I'm Walt Disney. I'm back."
Yeah.
As an AI.
I mean, it's just there's so many different facets to this discussion because, like we said, like we're talking about from the business side, it would make sense for you to go and make something AI because it's cheaper and faster. From a consumer side, hey, I'm getting this book again cheaper and faster, and
like
similar quality to something else that was done. So yeah, I guess the real thing is for the creators, to step up their stuff so that they are not always just constantly compared to AI work.
Right.
If I'm a writer and artist and I'm doing my work and somebody comes up to me and says, "Do you use AI on your stuff?" That would be a wake up call for me to think, "Oh man, I need to figure something out, because if people are mistaking what I'm doing as AI stuff,
right, yeah,
meaning that I'm not putting in my best effort, then I need to go and step up." I'm looking at it from now again. That's not every single.
Oh, did I lose you?
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, you're back. You're back. You're back. Yeah.
Again, that's not every single artist, but is for a lot of artists and writers, and so it will be interesting from the coming, years to come, or, in this case, hours. And yeah, okay, so this is interesting. So yeah, this is an app that we were playing around with.
Yeah. So real quick, hold on. So just to give the people watching context here. Hey, Oli, ¿qué onda? AI is some people say AI is good for research and getting ideas. I make sure it's accurate though. AI isn't flawless in that area yet. Right. So just for context, this is you give the backstory to this one.
I was gonna say, like, this is my thing. I don't know why.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. So let me just give you a brief intro.
Okay.
So Kyle wanted to use this a little bit because for the sake of the show, but that's all I wanted to say for the introduction. Okay. So go ahead, Kyle.
Basically, I want to talk about it from more of the consumer aspect of it, because
right.
What happened was, I downloaded this app where you can go and you can turn, toys or pictures and stuff, and it will just like automatically animate whatever whatever image you put in, and it will just generate an animation of it. And so I showed it to my folks and my mom, because we have a Christmas village that we put up every year. So she went and grabbed an old photo from her phone and put it in there and generated this little vignette of the schoolyard.
Look at that, guys. Look how flawless that looks.
And she loved it so much that she is just fully convinced and fully on board with doing more of this stuff, because she loves it. Because you know why? Because she's older, she's retired, she doesn't have all the capabilities in the world to generate this stuff. She loves it because all she needs to do is just take a photo, put it in the app, and say, "I want them to move," and then that's it. And she loves it. And the same thing like here with this image of Ghost Rider. It's something where you just upload an image and it just generates. So from that aspect, I love this stuff because it's so cool and so much fun. Yeah, this shot right here where that's animating. Imagine a comic book where it will, once you see the art and everything like that, you upload it, and then it will generate it for you.
Benjamin says AI is good for showing us what Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers wrestling would look like.
I know that's
That's pretty good. Awesome 142 says, I'm addicted to Grok Imagine. Yeah, dude, it's like we said earlier, it's fun, it's a novelty. It's like, oh, this is so cool and so neat. But it's yeah, there you go. See, there you go, Kyle.
yeah,
I've been using old
exactly.
family photos. Yeah. And I've been noticing that too on TikTok. I've been noticing that there's a lot of people who are taking pictures of their loved ones who have passed away, long since passed, and they're generating themselves as adults with them in the same picture, like they're still alive, and they
Yeah.
have no problem with it. And now granted, I know recently Robin Williams' daughter has been like telling people, "Hey, can you guys stop with the AI pictures? You know, with me and my dad. That's kind of creepy. I don't like it."
Yeah.
And again, of course, you know, obviously, but like I said, the opposite is happening. What I see on TikTok, where regular people have no problem with that. They're actually looking forward to it. You know, they use it for that.
I know,
So,
and that's the thing is like, yeah, in that scenario where it's like, the daughter, saying, "I don't want that happening," then of course, yeah, I
see,
I was not
that's a
do
line
that.
that awesome one here doesn't want to like pass, which is great, which is respectable. But there's a lot of people who have no problem. Like, hey, my mom has been gone for 10 years, and I want to do this because it gives me
Yeah.
comfort. You know, so it just depends.
Well,
Depends on
I
who's
mean
using it,
that
I guess.
that's the thing is like with this technology, it can be very moving. I'm like, say if you have, yeah, like a dead relative, passed away relative that you haven't seen in a while that was very close to you, and you see them animated, yeah, it's kind of crossing that uncanny valley type of thing, but it's something, and
Mm.
um, other times where it's like recreating old memories that you cherish. I mean, that's a powerful thing, and it's
Yeah, it is.
very, very influential. And if you're able to do that to generate emotion from somebody, of course, people are gonna do it.
There you go. The Black Hat Cinephile says, I use AI animations for intros to actual art time lapses. There you
Mm,
go. It can be a useful tool for sure. It is a useful tool. It's just I guess the big gripe amongst creatives is that people are going to use it to replace real artists, and that's, yeah, I'm against that 100%. But again, it's all about what the consumer is going to choose at the end of the day.
right. And that's the thing is that kind of like, well, the reason why we're kind of sharing this is that it's the technology is getting so well and so
Mm-hmm.
easy to use that, older people, I'm not saying that my mom's super old, but saying older people,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
are able to do it and learn it, and it being, if they're able to learn it and do it and have it be fairly well, then 100% everybody in the future is going to be using it to some degree. Um, and it's just going to be something that we're going to
100%.
have to figure out how to, you know, use in our lives, because or get used to it, because it's not like you said, Pandora's box. It's not going to go in the box. AI is not going to go away.
Right. Yeah. And I have to admit, this Ghost Rider one is pretty cool.
I know, that's the thing.
I'll
Did you
admit
get the
that's
other one, the Wolverine one?
yeah. Let me get that one. I'll get that one ready.
Yeah, well, again, we were playing around with it, and there was a really cool Wolverine cover that Julius came up with, and literally take a picture, upload it, and then it just animates it. And it's not as, I want to say it's not as clean as the Ghost Rider one, but it's it's really cool.
It was the Paul Smith Uncanny X-Men issue. I had taken a picture of it, and again, I was curious too. I was like, oh, I wonder what it does if I use this picture, and it came out pretty cool. I was like, dang, this is pretty cool, actually. Um, but again, it's not the be all end all. Again, it's fun.
It's a
It's
novelty
it's
right
a
now.
novelty, yeah, and right now, yeah,
Right now.
exactly, yeah.
In the future, though, it's going to get a lot more involved because everybody's going to be using it.
And some person is right. Education in the arts helps with. Well, I don't know, maybe what's the context of what you're saying here, some person, but yeah, this here used to be. This can be done before AI. Actual graphic designers and animators would be able to do this. It just took them time. Took them time and effort to get it to the where it needs to get to. But now with AI, it's instantaneous. This lasted 30 seconds or so for it to generate like this.
Yeah, it was like 30 seconds to do it, and that was it, and then it generated that.
Yeah, that's wild. I've seen people clip several animations together with a separate voiceover, soundtrack, or voiceover to make trailers or memes. Yeah, that's another thing that actually, you know what? I'm going to share with you guys what I saw today that was like, whoa. And I showed it to Kyle here, and he was like, you know what? Honestly, if I saw this, I would watch it.
Dude, yeah, so, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I want to see it again. Right?
That's you want to see it again?
Yeah,
right, hold on,
I
give
do.
me a second. So yeah, that's go on, Kyle. Keep on.
Okay, while
you're
getting up, I was gonna say that going back to the original question of if I went to a comic book store and I saw a comic book that was generated or helped generated by AI, there is a lot of, again, this is not the end of all the discussions that could be had with this topic, because there is so much more to say and so many different avenues and facets and nuances to it. But from a consumer standpoint, as of right now, if I saw a comic book that was AI generated, I wouldn't be opposed to picking it up, buying it, and reading it. And if it was good and the art looked good, I would, probably buy it, because I'm looking at the end of the day for a good story. Now, generally, again, like we mentioned, there's nuances to that.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, like, okay, if it goes, say it for $1, or 50 cents,
right,
something like that.
Yeah.
If it's a 50-cent book, AI generated, if it's that cheap, why would I buy a $5 book written by artists and written by writers and artists for $5 when I could get the same sort of substance with 50 cents AI generated one?
Ran the head, Kyle. Ran the head.
I'm just saying how it is. That's from my consumer
and
perspective.
that's fair, and that's what this show was about. I wanted to ask you, since you are the consumer of the consumer perspective of the show, as opposed to the creator perspective that I provided the show. I really was curious to see if you would buy it, because again, going back to the original question, which was the question that we're not asking ourselves when we do oppose AI, is what does the consumer think, and what will they do?
Right.
Will they reject it, or will they embrace it? And since you put up the scenario about the price point, 50 cent, like say like the creator's like, well, I'm not gonna be greedy. I'm not gonna charge the same thing as the regular comic book publishers. I'm gonna do it cheap. I'm gonna do it cheaper because, honestly, I only get charged like, $10 a month to use this AI program to generate these books. Takes me about a month to generate it. Why not charge for $1? That'll make it up. You know, if 10 people pay for the $1 book, I already made back my $10 a month fee that I'm paying for this AI program.
Right.
And
that's the thing. I guess my last thought on it was, if comic books currently, all the titles were A+, every single one of them, all great. Every single writer was hitting their points. And I go back to like the 90s and looking at all their books,
spam is $5 now.
Spam is $5 now. But like, if I go back and I look at some of these older books and I'm reading them and I'm getting really good across the board, all of them are good.
Yeah.
And AI comes along, like if all of the books are here, every single one, every single title is here, and I'm buying all of them, and an AI book comes out right here, why would I buy the AI book if all the
Right.
other rest of the books are here?
Yeah.
However, in current times, current comic books right now, most of all the books are like right here, and an AI book is going to be like right here, you know? So why would I not do it if it's like a little bit less but super cheap, or
Hmm.
to that effect? Looking
Well,
at from that perspective.
I agree with some person. They'll gouge the price for AI books. 100%.
I
Yeah.
mean, probably, but
Yeah, they
like,
will. They will because it's people are greedy. Naturally, a lot of people are naturally greedy. They will not be fair with their prices. They have
yeah.
no moral qualms about it. So I agree with some person that they'll probably gouge the prices for those books.
And we'll just have to
Awesome
see. If
142. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
I was just gonna last point on that though. Like, if I'm looking at it from perspective of like if it was cheaper, if
Mm,
they are making an AI book that is double the price of what's happening, current books,
yeah.
then no, I would be 100%. I wouldn't buy it,
Oh,
because
okay. Okay.
that wouldn't make it right for me. Because why would I pay
Oh,
more?
gee. Thanks you, Kyle.
I
Thanks
know.
you.
Well, I'm just saying what I'm saying,
No, I know.
man.
I know. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. I'm messing with you.
But like, yeah,
uh,
if it's double the price for, like, essentially the same, like, I would only buy it if it was cheaper,
mm.
because, I guess for me, price is more uh important, I guess you would say,
Yeah, just like
as a
for every
consumer.
consumer. Yeah, for
For
every
every
consumer, for
consumer.
sure. Awesome 142 says I took a catch phrase used to convince someone to buy Shannara book. I don't know what a Shannara book is. Describing the action in the book, totally not what I was imagining, but the creatures it created were scarier than my imagination. There you go.
Hmm.
Sometimes that does happen. As far as creativity, AI is only capable of mimicking and deriving from what. Yeah, apps
Right.
100%. Black Hat 100%, and that's why I always tell everyone who are vehemently opposed to AI, and that is that nothing will ever trump human imagination.
Right.
Nothing. It's a God-given thing. Our creativity is unique, is special. It's like a thumbprint. It's like a thumbprint. It's unique to each individual. And so if you push yourself, and again, AI cannot create anything. It takes from things that are already
Right.
there. It's taking from human creativity, essentially. It's stealing it. It's
Pretty
when you really
much.
break it down, it's stealing it. And as much as all the pro AI people, you know who they are, they're out there. They're pretty much saying it's over, and human imagination is done, innovation is done. BS. I'm a believer that human beings will always be top tier when it comes to imagination and creativity.
Yeah.
Always. There could be an AI program that comes out 20 years from now where you could just generate a whole movie and it won't make a difference because it's going to still be generic.
Right.
It
That's the
won't
thing.
be it won't be unique to the filmmaker who wrote the screenplay or directed the movie, or in this case, comic books. It won't be unique to the writer and the artist involved in the project.
Yeah.
Human imagination will always win. Always. You just gotta
Yeah.
work a little harder to, you know, get it out there. And once you find your stride, and that's what happens to a lot of artists, when you do it enough times, you start tapping into things you didn't know was there when you start working on more stuff. So
Yeah.
here's the video I saw earlier that was like, whoa. And so I showed it to Kyle, and he was
Oh
like,
yeah.
dude, if I saw this, I'd watch it. And here it is. Let me know there's sound.
No.
No sound.
No sound. Again,
I'm
we
so
are a high production budget show.
so I'm so
We
cursed with sound, dude. I mean, when I was in
You
Bancroft,
are the worst. You should have AI do it for
dude, when I
you.
was when I was on Bancroft's show about the pitch, this is what happened to me.
I
There's
know.
no sound trailer, and it freaking ruined the momentum I had going for myself when I was pitching the Ghetto Dragon Kickstarter campaign, and it was so disheartening, to say the
I
least.
guess once they come out with an AI technology that helps you with technology, that's gonna be perfect for you.
Let's see. What
I'm
about now?
sorry, sweetie,
Yeah.
but I have to work
Okay,
late
good.
tonight. Be in bed by 8. And Hogarth. No scary movies.
Mom, you got nothing to worry about.
Invaders from Mars.
Aliens!
Look how freaking good that was.
This is no meteor.
I mean, it obviously
This is
AI.
something
It's
more
not.
dangerous.
There's no.
Right.
It's not. It's
Where'd
not
it come
fully
from?
there, but it's enough to conduct a what do you call it? Bring up emotion. Because especially because if you're a fan of Iron Giant, you know what the movie's all about, so you know how good the movie is. But look at that.
Dude.
I'm
Honestly,
sorry, sweetie, but I have to work late tonight. Be in bed by 8.
it
And
was.
Hogarth. No scary movies.
Mom,
wanna
you
pause
got
it?
nothing to worry about.
Oh yeah. Some person says AI will purge the mediocrity out of humanity. Hopefully it does. And he said it wasn't made a cartoon for absolutely some person. It is better as a cartoon, 100%. So the very first push for these AI animations, they showed fake streamers, so it's coming. Absolutely right, dude. It's coming. It's coming.
The thing
so
is that like that trailer is pretty much exactly what I want a trailer for if they were to do a live action Iron Giant,
yeah,
that's the type of trailer that I would basically want. And that's the thing is like, because I'm also a huge Iron Giant fan.
yeah.
And
Same
so
here.
seeing that, it does give me chills in the fact of like, wow, this is something that could easily just be made like that. And then it just pop out and have a whole movie, of your classic favorite characters. And it's both, again, it's good and bad because I'm scared of what it can do and lead to, as we've talked about. But it's also very cool from the aspect of like, wow, it's just like that technology is here. It's not something like it's imagine trying to explain this stuff to like somebody from like the 1800s or something. It's like you can literally just like say
Not
whatever
even-
you want.
Not even
Not even that, but,
1800s.
like,
1980, dude. 1980.
Or just the 90s. You go to a 90s kid and say, hey, this cartoon that you really like? Well, in the future, it will just you can just type into your little, computer, and then it will just make the whole movie in live action within a second.
Yep.
And that would just it still blows my mind right now, and I'm living in this time with it right now. But
Absolutely. Yeah. Dang. That's crazy. Well, I think that sums up the portion of the show. AI is here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. The only way the AI will go away is if everyone, and that includes the consumers and readers, totally reject it. That's the only way it'll go away, if everyone rejects it. But the reason why there's a continuous flow of all these AI companies popping up, all these apps popping up, is because people are using them.
Yeah,
they're signing up for them. They see the optics. Those software developers who are launching these services, these AI services, they're seeing like, dude, we got like a whole bunch of people paying us to use our service. And that's why they keep popping up, because the consumers are using them. If they stop, I guarantee you it'll go away. But it's not going to go away because, like you said, people just love novelty. They'll use it.
Yeah.
Your mom, when she discovered it, she was like, oh my God, this is great.
She's like already planning every single thing of what she wants to do when we build our village, our Christmas village. She's got plans. She's got everything laid out of what she wants to do.
There you go.
She is ready. She loves it. And it's just something fun for her to do. And it gets her, and gets some creative, juices going. So, it's fun from that aspect. And I love it. And I love that she's doing it. So it's like, I don't want it to go away from that. But then I also see the other side of it, where it's like there's a true dark side to AI as well that we didn't even get to. But it's a give and take type of thing.
Absolutely. And that's going back to rounding it up and finishing up the topic, that's the one question we all have to ask ourselves. Now I'm coming from a creator side. So for those who are listening to the show who are creators, if you are creators yourselves, you want to write comics, you want to draw comics, or be a publisher of comics, indie publisher, whatever the case may be, we have to ask ourselves those questions. What are the market forces saying? Which direction are they going to? Because at the end of the day, we make a product that we sell to the public, and they're going to choose: do I want your book or do I want this? And that's the reality of our industry. So when we say I hate AI, I'm never going to use it. Granted, I'm one of you guys. I'm with you. I'm never going to use AI for any reason other than making thumbnails or fun stuff that I think is fun. But to produce comics, no way. I'm always forever going to use human artists to draw the stories I want to tell. And I'm never going to use AI to generate story ideas or scripts. And so, but the question we all have to ask ourselves is, what are consumers and readers going to want 5 years from now? Because it's going to change. It's already changing. It's already there.
Yeah.
So,
I was just going to say that last comment, Howling Comics, I welcome our new overlords. Yes, remember to always say please and thank you to ChatGPT. So that way, when the robots take over, they'll know that you were one of the nice ones.
Yeah, I was thinking of Simpsons. That's exactly what I was thinking. I, for one, welcome our new overlords.
No, not this one. He said thank you and please when
exactly. When I was just an infant. When I was just an infant. Some person says, on the other hand, Disney will go out of business if they use AI, because anyone else can use AI. Why buy anything from Disney? 100%. 100%. Yep. Jazz Noir Studio says, God dang, this cartoon got me to tear up weeks after I saw it, just thinking about the giant saying Superman. What a great story. Yeah, dude, exactly. It brought up the same thing with me, because that was a very powerful moment at the end of that movie, of him saying Superman as he flew up to sacrifice himself to save was it the city? The city, right?
The city.
Yeah. Very powerful stuff. Brad Bird, one of the best. I hope we see more stuff from Brad Bird soon, because I miss his work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild what's going on right now.
It is. It's crazy, and it's moving, like we said, really fast. Really fast.
Really, really fast. So, but again, I don't believe it's going to take over. Human imagination will always win. Always. It's been proven time and time again. I mean, some of the stories that are still revered to this very day. I'm thinking J.R.R. Tolkien for Lord of the Rings. Those books are still revered, and he wrote that back in World War I.
Right.
And that's how powerful those stories are. That's why I always say human imagination will always win. Always.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about AI. If you guys are in the same boat as I am, you shouldn't be worried about AI at all. So don't fret, man. Just keep on doing what you're doing, and you'll be all right. You'll be okay. Everything will be cool. So
spoken from an AI generated person.
So with that said, we're finally, guys, it's been a long time since we've done this. But I'm glad we brought it back, because it's part of our it's a major staple of our show. It's what pretty much makes our show unique, I think, amongst the rest of the shows on YouTube, and that is the one and only Is It Worth the Pickup? Now, for those who are new to the show or new to the channel, our friend here, Kyle, again, as we mentioned, is coming from the point of the consumer and the reader. He every week, and there it fails, I go with him to the shop. The first thing he does, he goes to his pull list, pulls out the stack of books, he lays them out on the counter, and he's looking over going, which one am I going to drop? Which one am I going to keep reading? So it's really cool to see, So
yeah,
he's a reader. He reads comics every week, every day, if he could. And so this section of the show is him giving his true and real opinion of a story that he read. And today's segment, he's going to review Skin Breakers by Robert Kirkman. Skin Breaker, excuse me. Skin Breaker by Robert Kirkman and David Finch, with colors by I don't know his first name, Leone, and letters by Russ Wooton. Wooton, I could never pronounce his last name. Apologies to the letterer of this, but Kyle, take it away.
All right. So yes, again, just briefly mentioning, we don't forget to hit that like, comment, and everything. This is a fun way for us to go and review new comic books. I picked Skinbreaker up because it was one where I heard about it. Obviously Robert Kirkman is very popular now because of Battle Beast and Invincible with the TV, with the TV show on Amazon that's been, and so when he showed that he was going to be doing a new universe title, and I saw the art, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll give it a shot and see how it is. The only things I've read from the only things I've seen from Robert Kirkman or read from Robert Kirkman, again, is Invincible and Battle Beast. So I'm not too familiar with and I've been reading Void Rivals, which was good at the beginning and now has dropped off.
Jasmine Studio says, "Trash it, Kyle."
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to that. So,
oh, really? Okay, I'm curious to hear. All right.
Spoiler. Anyway, Skin Breakers is the story of
Skin Breaker,
as I, diligently corrected you. Is a story of some skin people and skinheads, I guess. Overall, I guess I would say that this story, we're gonna do a little. That's the thing. Overall, I would say, kind of being on topic, that this story was written by AI because of how generic it felt in this story.
Come on. Are you serious?
Honestly, I thought that this was kind of like an AI book to begin with because.
Oh, come on. Really? Don't say that about Kirkman, dude. Come on.
It was so generic, man. I'm telling you. Okay, so the art is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wow. Just look at the detail in this. Now, the thing is.
What a beauty.
The thing is with this art is that it's so beautiful and it's so detailed that it's running the same problem that I've had in previous issues that we've talked about with when we reviewed Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog, the one that he was doing
right.
Where it's so detailed and so cool that it needs to be in a larger format for me to really appreciate it, because it is you lose so much detail in this that I can't distinguish every single thing in there because it's all so compacted together that I can't see everything that I want to see in this story because it's so smushed together. Like I said, the detail is phenomenal, but I have to get out my magnifying glass and seeing everything because all the little details, because I mean, it's really great. And then the other problem I had with it, so the first page, and then it goes into a splash page. So this first page that will go up, the first page was completely pointless because it just shows woodlands and just shows that. But we also just get a splash page where the second page is just also woodlands. And then you have a splash page with some guys on it. So you have essentially wasted 2 pages of nothingness.
I see.
When you could have filled that in with other stuff. Which
pretty much start the story, in other words, right?
Yeah, you basically already lost a page because it was just scenery, which you already established in this shot. And I honestly think that it should have taken up both pages, because the left-hand side page is, again, just more trees and vines and stuff. So I would have loved, because in the dialogue it says that they are hunting creature from like a lion-esque type creature in their world, like, because they're
I see.
hunters.
Yeah.
And so it says that it has our scent. I would have loved to, maybe in the first page, if you're going to do that, maybe in the first page have them be super tiny that we're following, and then like in the foreground see the actual thing, like a background, like the back shot of it,
Oh, right.
like
Of the creature.
hunting them, like perched up on the thing, and like
It's not this
they're
thing here, is it?
no, it's not that. Like, I wish that it was like, we saw the back of it in the
Yeah.
foreground, and
Right.
then these guys really small in the way in the distance, and then we cut to this where it's like they are kind of sensing that they're being hunted. So, but you wasted it from the first page, so that's a strike. Another small, it's another issue that I have with it is that the colors for the guys are not contrasting enough with the background.
I was about to say that was my biggest takeaway too. When I was looking at these first few pages, where I'm like, oh, I kind of wish the colorists would have done a better job to kind of distinguish the foreground, the middle ground, the background. I mean, the background, yeah, so it's all right. You can see good at the background or the composition, but yeah, maybe the stuff that's here in the foreground could have been done a bit more. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not a colorist, so I can't speak on it. So anyone who's listening is a colorist, please educate me on that. But based on my own, experience reading books, we used to love how back in the day colorists would make sure to color the foreground a little differently, a different shade than the middle and the background. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of all blended in together in a lot of ways.
And that's the thing, is like, because and then also, like, that's another problem I have with it, is because it's so compact and there's so much detail, it gets lost. I can't. There's some portions in here where I can't legitimately tell what's going on, because it all blends together so much, because there's so much detail in it. Basically, the story, as we're finding out, is that this is a chieftain who's older. He's in his later years of his life. No, that's the son. So it's the son and the chieftain. So the chieftain has the longer bladed sword, and then the son has like the axe.
I see. Okay.
And the chieftain's older. He's out with his son hunting. And that's basically it right now. They go and they're trying to track down this monster, and then we get the shot of the monster. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's like a hybrid, like tiger and bug type thing, I guess.
Are you sure that wasn't the thing? Let me see.
No, it's not the thing. The first thing is like it's like a
lizard, right?
Lizard or iguana or something like that.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, then you have the double page spread of that. And that's
dude, David Finch is what a master, man. Look, I mean, just the art alone, you're right, it's absolutely phenomenal. Just how much is put into it. Amazing.
But the thing is, though,
really amazing.
It's amazing, but the story does not help it at all, because I was expecting them to actually have a fight, but then the next page is it dies. It just falls off to the side and lands in some spikes. Now, I assume because these look like they made the spikes, that they were drawing it to the thing, but as you can see up in the corner there, that the son had to pull the chieftain away to trick it. You would think that if they were setting the trap, they would have like both dived, knowing that the beast was going to go and fall into the spikes. Not, oh, what am I supposed to do? Oh, get out of the way, Dad, and then we pull you.
Okay, right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So, and then that's it. I was expecting a fight, though, and it's just a stupid trap thing. Which I mean, it's
well, I mean, to be fair, I'm reading this line here. This is a shameful way to hunt. My time is over. So, do they establish that the son is the one who set up this trap here?
Yeah, I guess it's the story is that the chieftain is older. This society that they live in is the strongest and the fittest should survive. So if you're not fit, then you need to be challenged and then defeated, and then the next strongest should be in place.
I see. So, I mean, I guess in the story point of view, coming from putting my editor's cap on, it's fine. It works because if you're telling me that he has to use his strength, that means he didn't use his strength. He used his wits. He used his brain instead.
Yeah.
To kill the monster. And it sounds like here that the father is shameful of it because it's not the way he was supposed to kill this monster. He was supposed to do with his, I guess apparently with his bare hands and his weapon.
Yeah, I mean to that effect. And so then they have it. I get this scene here where the chieftain, the dad, is trying to finish it off,
I
and
see.
because I guess it's still alive, but he can't because he's not strong enough. So then the next page, and literally that's the thing is like there's dialogue bubbles that almost don't need to be there because we can, again, the art does speak for itself for the most part because you can kind of tell that he's struggling, but he can't do it. So I do like the artist. So go scroll down.
Yeah.
I do like the artist's perspective of like where he's trying and then he says, you can see the defeated thing. You don't need the bubbles that says I can't. You can tell by the way that the artist drew him that he's defeated and stuff. Now, I didn't like the placement of because they look so similar. I did when I first read it got confused. So if you zoom out so that you can see all the panels of the page, it got a little confusing because they're situated in a way where when I first read it and they do look so alike that
oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Thought
Panel
that,
1 and 3,
he got his
right?
strength back and then did it and then got back. So it's like it was a little jarring and trying to figure out who was who in this situation.
I see. Yeah, I can see that. There.
So that was another little thing that I had for that. And because they do look so much alike. So anyway, the story then continues where they then just talk about, the world that we live in and saying, how, oh, I'm weak, so you must challenge me, otherwise somebody else will, and I want you to be in it because you're my son, and that way we keep it in the family line. And the son's all like, no, I don't want to because you're still good, Dad, and I don't want you to leave, and a bunch of generic stuff. And so then you get the stereotypical, second in command general guy that's like the super buff, like I'm the one that needs to be in charge, and he literally just tells you that like I'm the one that should be in charge, and basically mocking them. It's like, hey, need any help with that monster that you killed? Did you do it all by yourself? I didn't think you were that tough, man. So and then son's all like, oh yeah, how dare you speak to my dad that way, you jerk, I'm way better than you. And then the guy, then it just goes in back and forth on that. And then the chieftain's like, no, we shouldn't be fighting, we're all friends here. And then the guy gets all in a huff and he's like, yeah, well, till tomorrow or something.
Okay.
So anyway, then they get to their little city town.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of James Stokoe, Orkstein. For those who are still listening, have you guys heard of that book, Orkstein by James Stokoe? I'm kind of getting the similar vibe, above James Stokoe is a lot more stylized art. Maybe one episode I'll do I'll let you borrow it so that way You can read it yourself, and you can maybe you can compare and contrast these two. I'm not talking about the art style. I'm talking about the world here. It kind of reminds me of Orkstain.
The way it looks.
Yeah, the way it looks. Yeah, it kind of has a similar kind of vibe to it. Where's the skinwalkers?
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, again, in this shot here, this one does a little bit better because it wasn't so, the colors were a little bit more different.
Yeah.
But again, it's so detailed and so much is going on. Like in the corner there, it's hard to tell that they're dragging the beast into the camp because it
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't, unless I mentioned
Right.
it to you, you didn't even see it.
Yeah, you're right. I thought this was part of the trunk of the tree here.
Exactly. No, that's the beast that they're dragging in. So it's like the colors are so closely connected that, again, you need to sit there and spend like 15 minutes just looking at everything, just trying to figure out what we're actually looking at. Now, again, doesn't mean it's necessarily bad art. I'm just saying that maybe it's the colorist that really did a disservice here.
I have been noticing that a lot more lately. I've been noticing that a lot of colorists these days are drowning the artist's lines.
Yeah.
And they're taking away, because when you look at comic books that were produced in the 80s, 90s, the colors were a little brighter, and you were able to see the penciler's lines, the line work, a lot more. That way, you could appreciate the line work that went into not only the penciler but also the inker as well. And the colorist would just add on another layer of depth into the pages, and that way you can have an appreciation of all three things, including the lettering. And this one here, as awesome one here, points out muted tones.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of causing that's what a lot of colorists today, or most of them, not all of them, have been doing. They're kind of doing these muted colors where, it kind of blends everything in and kind of keeps it too flat, I guess is the best way I could describe it.
So
go on.
Continuing on, they get to the camp. They are having the bonfire, and the son is talking with his wife, and basically, he's explaining to her what happened in the hunt, how the chieftain dad is not fit anymore, and she's saying, well, you need to challenge him before somebody else does, and then we'll lose our thronehood, basically. And he's like, I can't do that because my son. And so then we find out that his son is deformed, I guess you would say. We later find out why in a few pages, but I guess they have to be sheltered because he's deformed and not he doesn't have his skin yet, as we'll find out. So, and he's ashamed of himself because he can't go out with everybody, all his friends and everything like that, because it's not his time yet. Right. And so we find out why in this section, where the chieftain with his sword, they have a ceremony where he reflects the light in his sword onto the children. All the children, and I guess their whole race, are born without skin. And then when the time comes, the magicness gets their skin on them.
Interesting. That's a pretty cool premise. I like that.
So anyway, then it gets to the chieftain's grandson, I guess, and it's not working for him. And I guess it hasn't been for many, many, many times now. And far, far later than what normally happens. So he is upset and it's burning him and it's not working. And so this is when the jerk, second in command guy says, see, this is a, weak bloodline. We shouldn't have you ruling because your grandson is unfit. You can't even get your skin on, man.
His
now look at my
weakness
son.
It's on display for all to see. Enoch is a fool.
He's a fool if he's not going to do it. And then that's when he takes his newborn son. He's like, here, look, my genes are so much better. Here's my son. Do him. And so he forces him to do it. And then, he gets his skin like way earlier.
Uh-oh.
And then he's like, see, I was right, man. I was right. My genes are better. We need to be in rule. And he's like, and that brings me to another point. I challenge. And then that's when the son comes in and says, I challenge the chieftain to it. And he's like, what? and, and then he's like, well, that was supposed to be me. And then
Mm.
then it's like, that's the challenge. So one of them, so the challenge is it's to the death. So, one of them's going to have to die. And that's how it ends.
Okay,
So,
I mean, I guess it's kind of generic. It's not totally generic.
I just look at it, it's just basically almost like Lion King. It's basically Lion King, but
Um,
in a
yeah,
sense.
I guess. I mean, you say Lion King, I say Hamlet.
Hamlet. Well, I mean, that's
It's the
kind of
same.
Lion
Yeah, it's the
King.
same thing.
It's the same
Let
sort of
me ask you
story.
this. Let me ask you this then. To be fair, in the sake of fairness, what made this bland? Was it just the story? The whole story itself?
It was, yeah, I guess it was because I was expecting something really intriguing and
Hmm.
I didn't get that. It's like I've seen this before. I've seen I could write this myself type of thing. Like it's like that's why I say it's generic. Now, I'm glad that it wasn't overwritten. The
Right. Yeah.
dialogue was all right. It was fine. It it just felt bland. And it probably doesn't help that the colorist made everything look so congealed together that I couldn't distinguish anything. So I wish there was the colorist was there because again, the art, the line work and the art and stuff is amazing. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. I love it.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
like the way it looks. It feels so flat to me.
Hmm. Yeah, awesome one here says the antagonist backs down pretty quickly, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Because now that I'm thinking about it more and more, I am reminded of how back in the early 2000s, specifically Mark Miller,
Yeah.
was more famous for it, but also Brian Michael Bendis and other good writers that were out and about during that time. They'd always leave you hanging on a great cliffhanger.
Right.
And so if they really, and I feel like that art, that the cliffhanger, the art of a cliffhanger is kind of has died out with a lot of these. And again, shame on Robert Kirkman because he should know better. To create actual buzz and to create excitement for the next issue, you gotta give him something to like. Oh, I can't wait for this. And you're right, it doesn't do that when you explain what the story is going. And to add to what Awesome 142 is saying, the antagonist gives up too quickly. Where maybe if they wanted to create like a whoa moment, right? I'm like, now I got to read the second issue. The antagonist here should have just killed them.
That's what I was thinking. He should have just went over, grabbed his sword, and stabbed him, and then just says, "I declare myself."
And then the son could have been like, "You broke the rules, you broke the tradition. Now I challenge you." And then that could have been like, "Oh crap, here we go," because they established that he's kind of weaker and uses his brain more. We see that his kid is not there yet, and we see that he stepped up. He overstepped him essentially. He pretty much disrespected him here with this.
Yeah.
Like a total disrespect. And yeah, he just kind of like, huh? Like he said, what? With the aggressive comic that is The Incredibles, we're expecting something more violent. Oh, Invincible. Okay, you meant Invincible? Okay. Invincible. Yeah, exactly. With Invincible, it was so opposite and so, yeah, I think I agree with you, Kyle. It's not the strongest ending to the first issue, and it doesn't create any kind of like, oh, I must read the next issue. It's kind of soft. It's like, okay, I guess I'll check out the next issue.
Well, and that's the thing is like other things to point out. There was like, yeah, they're doing hunting, but there's no like talk amongst all the people that are saying like, "Oh, we're running out of food. This is a great thing that you did because we're gonna be starving soon." Maybe that was showing incompetence of the leader. Maybe there's rival people that are coming. You could have also said that the beasts that they're hunting, maybe they're multiplying and they're constantly like attacking them, and they're losing people, so they have to keep on hunting. But the chieftain can't keep up, and that's the reason why he's losing a step, because there's so many of these creatures that are attacking, and they need. That's why the antagonist needs to be the leader so that he can take on all these beasts that are coming. But we get none of that. It's just just a regular story.
And I also noticed too that maybe with it to build more attention, which is what going back to what you said about the first few pages being wasted, they could have started off here. Well, obviously you can't start off here because the first page is like something. Maybe they could have done the first page could have been a splash, and they could have done insert panels where like there's like few panels here, obviously pull this out, and then they could have showed that they walked a long way, and maybe somewhere the creature was hunting them down, and then the double page could have been right here.
Yeah.
Right here. And then get rid of these pages right here, and
right.
So get rid of these pages and start off with the splash, the first page, and then when you turn to page 2 and 3, it could have been, instead of this, it could have been this.
Yeah.
And then the next pages could have been a few pages of action where we see the dad step up, but the son kind of cowers back like, oh no. And then there's a whole back and forth, maybe a quick back and forth. And then we could have ended the little fight with this.
Yeah.
And then this would have been a little bit more, not powerful, but it would have been more sense of like, this is shameful. I can't believe you did that. You moved out of the way. You should have struck him. Why didn't you strike him? And then they could have had the conversation as they're walking back, dragging the beast back, saying, why didn't you strike him? And then, pretty much hound them. And you're right. It could have been where maybe, they could have mentioned with the whole thing about the world and what's the threats that's being posed upon them. And then have the ending where we see that this guy, now he has to fight the guy who's ready to take over the tribe in the end here.
And that's the thing, is like the world building aspect of it. Like I said, it's okay. It's a place with monsters, and the magical element is that they're born without skin, and then pretty easily they just get skin, and one of them doesn't. So he's going to be special for some reason. He's going to be like the chosen one or something, and then the other one is going to be like the antagonist one. He's going to be the one that's showing everybody up because he was chosen way earlier than everybody else. So they're going to have the rivalry and stuff. And it seems so played out. And it's just, there's nothing there to keep me invested. I don't care about the second issue because there's not, I can probably just write it myself. I could go to ChatGPT and say, and tell me what the next storyline would be.
Oh man. Oh boy. Okay, well, what's the final verdict? Is Skinbreaker by Robert Kirkman, David Finch worth the pickup?
No, it is not worth the pickup.
Oh gosh.
You could just watch Lion King or Hamlet and you can get the same story. It's again, now, like I said, pros are the art is fantastic. It's really good. It's just so much art that it's almost overbearingly good. The colorist did a horrible disservice to the art. Everything was so flat and melded together that you can't distinguish the art from itself.
So Annalisa Leone is the colorist of the of this book here.
She did a horrible disservice. The story itself,
and just for the record, the color job is good. It's fine. It's just that she probably could have distinguished again the foreground, middle ground, and background a bit more with the as awesome one said here. The what do you say? What do you say here?
Tacky or Muted tones. Muted tones.
Muted tones. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's and then the like I said, story is not there. It's very generic. There's nothing to keep me invested. The world building is very lacking. I don't care for this world. It seems very, like I said, very generic. So I would like to like it, but there's nothing here that makes me want to.
Are you going to pick up
besides
the
the art.
Are you going to pick up the second issue and give it one last give it another try?
I
or
will
no?
I will flip through the second issue, and if I don't see anything, then I'm not picking it up. I don't want to waste another $5 on it.
Ooh, well, there you have it, folks. Kyle, final verdict is that Skin Breaker by Robert Kirkman and David Finch, with colors by Annalisa Leone and letters by Russ Wooton. It's not worth the pickup. Whoa. You're going to piss off a lot of Kirkman fans with that one, let me tell you.
Hey, I love Battle Beast, and it's
Battle Beast is good, yeah. Jazz Noir says, yeah, trash him, Kyle.
Trash him. Hey, I say it how it is. All right. I don't care. I'm
keeping it real.
I am a consumer, and that's what I say. And that's the reason. And I paid $5 for it. So I am allowed to have an opinion on it.
Oliver says, was that comic done with AI? He wonders.
I mean, maybe. In my opinion, it seemed a little.
Not my opinion. Not my opinion.
I would hope not, but
yeah,
it just.
No, that's unfortunate because Robert Kirkman is hitting it out of the park with Battle Beast, and I mean I've been enjoying it. For some reason, maybe he's trying to go a different direction with this or a different approach with Skin Breaker. However, the artwork is phenomenal. I will say that it's just fantastic all throughout. I just wish Oli, since you're here, what do you think of the colors? Did you agree about the layering of the colors, or were you okay with the coloring of this book? I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, I have to agree, man. I didn't read the issue, so I can't speak too much about it. However, based on what you've told me and what I saw on these pages here, it does appear like it's just kind of like okay issue, like it's fine.
Literally what I said in the review is the whole story. There is nothing else. That is the story.
Well, that's like I said, unfortunate because comic book writing 101 is you have to hook the reader with that first issue. You gotta send that first impression. It's gotta be solid because you want them to come back for the second issue. That's like the number one thing. You always want them to come back. And again, I don't know if Kirkman mailed it in. Maybe I know Kirkman's famous for the slow burn, so maybe that's what he's doing here again. He's kind of starting the slow burn, and that's just the way he's comfortable with. But yeah, it didn't work for me like it didn't work for you. So that's unfortunate. Dang, that sucks.
Yeah, so that's how it is. I know my verdict is don't pick it up. If you want to, just flip through the second. You've seen the review now. You want to flip through the second issue when it comes out and see if you want to pick it up. That's on you. But I recommend you don't because I'll flip through it and see. But based off of this first issue, it's not doing anything for me. So. Anyway,
well, there you have it. There you have it, folks.
There you have it.
Okay, here we go. Oli says, seems like that's the coloring style they use for Finch art nowadays. It's all right. Ascension was the best colored Finch comic art in my opinion. Now, Ascension. I need to look. I need to look at this. I need to find out.
Yeah,
I need to find out for sure.
Ollie it just seemed so generic and not noted. Like, I wish that they had made the actual people a different color so that it didn't blend so well into the background of the store of the art. Um, it just sent it. It's just with the way that like the animals and stuff look. It's just very hard for somebody to really distinguish between them unless it's like very pronounced. So again, you can go and look for yourself as well, but that's my opinion.
Here we go. Let's see. Let's take a close look here. What do you think?
Take a gander.
What do you think?
Yeah. I mean,
it's a little better. I mean, we can see more of the
yeah. It's a little bit better, but I wish the wings I wish they made the background a little bit more contrasting against the wings and the trees, because I can't, again, it's the same thing where I like the trees, the background, and the wings all kind of blend into each other. Like,
yeah, I can see that, but it's not as bad as
it's not as bad as the other
we
one,
saw
but
with
it's just
Skin Breaker.
But the thing is, it's all gray though. Like,
that was the style back then. This is when the image. This is when was this put out, Oli? There you go. A red background would make it pop orange.
That's what I would have wanted more, or just black, even if you're gonna do that. But because it's gray, it does blend in more so with the wings than it would be if it was red or orange or something.
I see.
Or make the wings that color or something, you know? I don't know. Okay. That's my opinion on things. I could be wrong, probably wrong, but you know, I'm just a consumer, man, and I am just buying what I want, and I'm gonna say what I want. So that's how it is.
All right, that's how it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. It was a good topic. I think it was something that needed to be discussed because, again, no one really talks about the consumer aspect of AI and the usage of it. And as we saw with your own mother using it, she's excited about it. She's all about it, and she has all these ideas that she's gonna utilize using that AI program. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that wherever the market forces are going to go to, that's where that's where the companies are going to kind of go to, because that's where the money's at. Companies love money because it keeps them in business.
Well, some companies, it seems other companies have different definitions of what.
That's true. That's true.
Of it. So
that's true. So if you guys love content like this, topics like this, subscribe to the channel and watch us every Friday. We try to get here every Friday, but of course, real life happens, so sometimes we can't do that. But we try to come on here every Friday to talk with you guys, hang out with you guys, and talk comics and movies and everything. That's all that we love about pop culture. So
it's just about having fun. We're here to build a community. We love chatting with you as always. We love talking with you in the chat. If you've never talked, to a chat before or something like that, come on to our channel, chat with us about anything. We always love hearing you. We'll talk with you, here and now. And it's fun, and that's what we want. It's a way for you and us to get to know each other and just talk about what we love. Comics and pop culture and fun stuff and stupid stuff and AI and things in the world. So we're just here to chat, have fun, and every new interaction is a new experience. And remember, I always say to build those experiences.
Well said. Oli, no, we did not talk about Indiegogo. It just because the AI topic was so grand that we didn't have time to fit it in. Now, quite frankly, I don't think it's a topic for a whole show. I mean, honestly, I don't care. I don't care about how about Indiegogo's changes. It is what it is. Maybe we'll discuss it sometime in the near future if I use it again, because I haven't used Indiegogo in a long time. Maybe. Jazz Noir says, I always enjoy the show, guys. You're a great team. Oh, thank you, Jazz Noir. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what we want. We want to cultivate an audience where we can discuss things and have fun and laugh and joke around. I mean, earlier with that joke about the train, that killed me, man. That killed me. That was just an interesting analogy, but hey, it got me.
Anybody can talk about whatever they want, you know. We try to keep it on theme with the stuff.
Of course. So thank you for that, Jazz Noir. I appreciate the kind words. So for those who are new to the channel or who are watching the replay, you know, hit the like, subscribe, comment, join us every Friday. We try to get here on time. We try to do every Friday.
Right.
And again, we're just about comic books and pop culture, and no drama farming unless, again, someone comes at me, then I have to defend myself and partake. But I'm not going to go out of my way to talk smack on anybody, because that's not what we're about here. In Let's Talk About It. We're about talking about it and discussing it like adults. So
adults talking about children's stuff.
No, not children's stuff. A hobby, you know.
Good hobby.
You know, especially for me, I'm a creator. I produce comic books myself. And I have a Substack. I will add it to the description box soon. I forgot to add it, I'm done. But I'm still changing things in the background, behind the scenes. So there'll be more. You'll see more of that being pushed out as more time goes on. I just gotta situate some things. But yeah, you already gave the last word, Kyle. So I already gave mine. With that said, everything. Thank you again for joining us. Join us in the next one. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Bye, guys.
On November 27th, 1997, citizens from a small Midwestern town called Carpenter's Bay were shocked to discover that one of their own brutally massacred his family, as well as ending his own life on Thanksgiving Day. Dubbed the Thanksgiving Day Massacre, this horrendous crime would forever tarnish the good name of this peaceful town. However, underneath this story lies a dark secret. A secret involving a government cover-up to hide the real story of what happened that fateful day. As the old saying goes, truth is stranger than fiction. Asset 13, The Last Thanksgiving, written by Julius Freeman, art by Greg Warrenchak, available on Global Comics. Evil has a new holiday.